Good afternoon, guys. Hope everybody's having a great day out there. Just taking a little afternoon break here out in the back garden area. Just wanted to have a little chat with you guys. If anybody's listening to this video, who knows if anybody's even gonna see it, but I just want to make sure everybody out there who hears this video that you're getting prepared, that you're getting ready for the coming storm. Guys, this fall is when everything pops off. Everything's going to start ramping up this fall. I'm talking, September, October, November, especially October. Things are really going to start ramping up. The supply shortages, supply problems are going to ramp up. The food shortages, food prices aren't coming down, that's for sure. The bottom line is it's just getting harder and harder to produce food. Whether it's, the droughts that are happening, if it's not drought, it's flooding rains, this fall, it may look like things are getting better right now. Gas prices are coming down. You may see some prices at the store coming down, but, I know you guys aren't fooled with that. That's, it's just temporary. Gas prices are going to go right back up. Fuel prices. In Europe, they're having such a problem with fuel prices. The media doesn't even talk about it. People in Germany who they usually, their house is heated by heating oil or some kind of heating gas. Well, people now are stockpiling wood. They have to go out and collect wood and, pile it up. People are getting all the wood they can get. That's how bad it is in Europe right now. I wouldn't be surprised if they go back to burning coal, for heat. They're really getting slammed. Just, it seems like our politicians are pushing, these other countries, just pushing and pushing until they get a war. They're moving equipment and personnel closer and closer to the borders of these countries like Russia, China. We're moving our aircraft carrier groups out off the coast of China. We just keep pushing these countries. They want them to get them to react, to get them to take some kind of action. Push them into it so that we can respond, There's no reason for us to be moving equipment and stuff to the borders of these countries. America's out there putting sanctions on countries, and China and Russia are out making deals with countries right now. They're making deals with countries like Saudi Arabia, India, Brazil. Russia and China are, further strengthening their ties together, and other countries are joining in. These countries are just getting tired of the Western America, Europe, Western dominance of the world, dominating the world economic system. They're forming their own economic systems now. Other countries are joining with Russia and China. Trading goods, trading oil. They can come together. They don't need the United States anymore. If the United States blocks Russian oil, Russia will just sell oil to China and India. They tell you we're really we're really hurting these countries with our sanctions, and Europe, cutting off Russian oil. They're really just putting sanctions on themselves. I mean, it's hurting the US and it's hurting Europe even worse. Russia and China will just trade with each other. And, Brazil and India, one of the world's largest populations, they're teaming up and making trades. Well, the US threatens and puts sanctions on countries. The other countries are out there making deals. So guys, it's all coming down this fall. The recession, the stock market, you're going to see that ramp up to the downside. So guys, I hope you're just preparing, if you've got some money sitting on the sidelines, put it into food, buy some shelf-stable food. Dry stuff like rice, beans. Big bags of rice and beans are easy to get right now. You can get dried pastas that last a long time. Different kinds of beans, lentils, powdered goods like powdered milk, powdered peanut butter, stuff like that lasts a really long time. And I mean, if you can plant a garden or do any kind of gardening, you're a step ahead of most people. Probably like 1% of the population grows any kind of food. I mean, most people are completely dependent on the food system. I mean, if there was a food shortage problem, we would see a real problem, because these people are absolutely dependent. So if you can grow any kind of food, even if you're just growing in pots, growing tomatoes in a 5-gallon bucket, I mean, at least you're learning the process of planting and caring for a plant, taking care of plants, harvesting, Hopefully you guys are out there. I know a lot of you guys out there are doing some of this. But I mean, if you're growing a garden on any kind of large scale, you're probably 1% of the population. The droughts, the dry weather in Texas, the heat, 100-degree days every day for months on end. You got ranchers, selling all their cattle, getting rid of most of their cattle because they can't feed them. And they can't, the grass is all dried up. They have to feed them hay. And so they're downsizing their herds. Crops aren't growing very well. So this stuff is all adding up, and it's going to start hitting this fall. So don't be fooled, guys. Government politicians are going to tell you everything's okay. Nothing's wrong. The economy's coming back strong. The high prices you're seeing are just temporary. They just got to work out a few things, and, everything's going to be fine. And you guys, come on, just trust your intuition. You guys know that's not true. I mean, it's not just here in the U.S. Farmers in every country. Look at, Dutch farmers are protesting. We have truckers protesting. I mean, when farmers in the Netherlands are protesting, it's getting bad. Because, I mean, these guys, they're the most down-to-earth people. I mean, they just want to be left alone. They just want to farm and do their thing. But they're taking their time out and their energy to go protest, in the Netherlands, that's telling you something. Truckers, truckers don't usually get involved in anything. I mean, they just want to do their job and go home, usually, but they're getting all these regulations, they're getting messed with by the government, and it's all for control, guys. They want to control everything. They want to control the supply routes. They want to control the food systems, They want to control your gun rights. I mean, stuff's popping off. I'm just hoping you guys are out there getting prepared, getting mentally prepared for what's coming. I mean, it's easy to go buy some food and stuff like that, but I mean, we got to be prepared for hard times and stressful times. We're going to see, violence tick up. People are going to, be losing their homes. People are going to be losing their businesses. They can't afford to feed their families. When that kind of thing starts happening, people start losing control and going out and acting out. So be careful out there. Violence is going to be going up. Protests, riots. When people lose everything, people lose it. They lose their mind. And so you got to be prepared for the violence. The reason you want to stockpile your food and stuff like that and your supplies is so you can stay home when this stuff happens. You don't have to be out at Walmart trying to fight the crowd, trying to rush the store to get, at the last minute to get everything your family needs, You got to do it ahead of time now when things are good. The stores are stocked. It's not hoarding if you're purchasing things, when the stores are fully stocked like this, when times are good. If you run in at the last minute and try and grab a bunch of stuff, that's hoarding. So, there's going to be, people getting robbed in the parking lot at the supermarket. I mean, they're having to lock up high-priced food items now at the supermarkets. I mean, people are stealing gas out of people's cars, and so, I mean, all this stuff is gonna get, gonna happen more and more. Road rage incidents, because, people are fed up. People are, on the edge because of this stuff. So you got to be careful out there on the road. Violence is going to be going up big time. So you just want to be able to stay home during all of that. If there's riots going on, you just stay home. You have your food supplies, you have your medical supplies, So guys, I mean, this is the real deal here. This isn't time to play around. I mean, you got, Bill Gates buying up farmland. Bill Gates is the largest owner of farmland in the United States now. And people ask why. What's he going to do with this farmland, right? He's not going to do anything with it. He's going to take it out of production. He's just going to take that farmland off the market so nobody's farming on it. So he can sell his, computer-generated meats and stuff, and he has a patent on this stuff. So, all these, Beyond Meat and Impossible Burger and all this stuff, that's corporate-owned products. So if they take farmland out of the supply chain, they take it offline, and just set it aside and don't do anything on it, that's taking farmland out of production. So that's what Bill Gates is doing with this farmland that he's buying here in Arkansas and a lot of other states. Largest owner of farmland in the U.S. is a tech billionaire, Just trust your feelings, guys. Trust your intuition. You guys know this stuff is happening. I mean, you don't need the mainstream media to tell you we're in a recession. You don't need Biden to tell you we're in a recession. You see it at the grocery store and at the gas pump, and it's not just that. It's your living, your rent, your home prices. Those are all going up. Your utilities are going up. They want to raise your taxes more, even in a recession. They still want to raise your taxes, and they're going to do it. There's also going to be coming up, there's going to be a lot of information coming out. Guys, I want you to remember that. A lot of leaked information about the government, not just in the US, but around the world. There's going to be more information released than you can believe. All this stuff's coming out. And, that's going to further enrage people and make people act out, make people get violent. I mean, when you suddenly, learn the truth, sometimes it's, hard to handle. And also, I just want to note, don't think the pandemic is over with. They're coming back. They're coming back to do a vaccine mandate. They want everybody, vaccinated. You might have further lockdowns. This is all part of the control system. They want you dependent on the system. They don't want you, gathering in groups with others and getting together and, protesting what they're doing. They want to control the information flow. The mainstream media, if they don't want you to know something, they just simply won't show it. There might be protests going on in certain countries, and the media just does not show it. So you'll never know unless you go look for it. You see what they present to you on their broadcast. So that's one way they manipulate you, just by simply not showing it. The mainstream media doesn't just mean CNN and Fox and, these news channels. The mainstream media is Hollywood, it's movies, it's commercials. A lot of these, movies and commercials, they have a political message. They have an agenda. They're pushing, electric everything, electric vehicles, electric, lawnmowers. They're pushing fake meats, these Beyond Meats, and trying to push you to, do what they want you to do. Push you in a certain direction. They want you divided. They want you to be fighting against each other. One side's Democrat, one side's Republican, and, if you're fighting each other, liberals, conservatives, fighting against each other, then, you can't do anything to stand up to them. So, I'm trying now not to get involved in that, any of the back and forth, the liberal versus conservative type thing. I mean, that's what they want. They want us fighting about that. They don't want you looking at, what they're doing economically with interest rates or the recession or, food shortages or any of this, They want, most people, a lot of the public out there are just, busy playing video games, watching TikTok videos, and, that's exactly what they want. They want you occupied so you don't look into what they're doing. So guys, it all goes down this fall. Get prepared. Do whatever you can do. Alright guys, I'm going to leave it at that for this video. I have a lot more information I want to share as we go into these times of hardship. We're going into the economic winter here as we go into this fall. So, you'll see these things start to pop off as we go into, towards the end of August, into September, October, November. Alright guys, stay safe out there, get prepared, and have a great evening. I'll see you next time.